Welcome to another Fear Street review.
Today, we're reviewing No Running, which makes its Tribeca debut on June 11th.
And knowing us, there's going to be quite a few spoilers. So definitely hit pause if you did not see it at this festival, or if you haven't seen it at this festival, or if you have to wait until it appears on one of our streaming services or a theater near you.
Right. A little recap about the movie, synopsis, as you say. When high school student Jalen Brown finds himself under suspicion after his classmate's mysterious disappearance, prejudice quickly becomes to bubble up. Let me do that again. I'll cut it. So let's get into a little synopsis about this movie. When high school student Jalen Brown finds himself under suspicion after his classmate's mysterious disappearance, prejudice quickly begins to bubble up to the surface of his small town. Working quickly to clear his own name, he begins to unravel a massive web of secrets that all point to otherworldly forces at play. Lots of secrets, y'all.
So many secrets.
Victoria's Secrets is in there somewhere.
She was, and she didn't just stop at Double D this time. I appreciate a movie that lets a young Black man be in the sci-fi genre because we don't get enough of that. I mean, I think there was a show or two on Nickelodeon or Disney that I just missed because I was not into kid things when I was a kid. And so I appreciate that because I grew up watching so many sci-fi shows and things, and there was the representation clearly. I also appreciate that they address the fact that these movies are always in type of town where there's only 3 Black people, because he straight up asked, why are we the only Black people in town? And I was like, this is something I have been asking since we started this podcast and before. Thank you.
Yeah, I also enjoyed that the movie really played with the idea of race and the theme of racism. I just think it was trying to do too much. So I was left at the end of the movie. I was still asking that question: why is there only 3 Black people in this town? So I want that answer, please.
Because it's a thriller and it's a sci-fi. There's a cap. I swear there's a cap. Somewhere in Hollywood, they were like, what kind of genre is it? You get 4 people of color. 4 max. And it's but it takes place in a different continent where there's only people of color. You get 4.
Did that cast is 4?
4. Also, who's directing? You might only get 3.
Yeah, I just wish it would have answered some of those questions for me, but yeah.
Yeah, there were so many questions, and I think that's part of the reason why I'm still on the roller coaster of what did I see, what do I know? Because we don't do trailers and synopsis here. We just go, this is a cool title, let's do it if we can. And so I thought it was a borderline thriller, and then all of a sudden aliens were beaming people up, and I was like, huh? Who? Because I was like, what happened? She's disappeared. So are we gonna Gone Girl it, or did she get murdered? Is he having blackouts? No, aliens. And I was like, well then, I will stop guessing. Good day.
Right. Yeah, no, I usually go into these films with possibilities. So I'm like, okay, that could be it. Oh, that could be it. And then it narrows down as it goes on. Mm-hmm. So Alien was definitely a possibility for me because they kept talking about this woman who had disappeared years ago or something. And so I was like, and some weird lights in the sky, someone says. I'm like, oh, what's this, aliens? And then when her ass got beamed up on that dock, I was like, well, there it is. She's getting anal probed.
That's how it always ends. That's how it always ends.
What can you do? When you get abducted by aliens, there's not much you can do about it.
No, you can't fight that. Some reason that made me think of Kate McKinn on SNL. When she does the character as a chain smoker, it's just they took me for the river Walmart.
Zen.
But back to No Running. I will say that seeing Taryn Manning as a chain-smoking problematic aunt of this kid.
I didn't even recognize her. I did not recognize her at first. It took me a good 30 minutes, and I was like,
She
Get out of
became a
here.
full-on Karen. They gave her like the weird robe that was slightly appropriative, and I was like, I don't feel like this is. They gave her all the rings, and she just always had a cigarette and just saying something problematic. And I was like, oh god. And Shane West, babyface Shane West, who was the bad boy of the '90s, is now a bad cop with a little bit of gray in his hair and beard. He has a beard now, and I was like, what happened? He was 18 last year. And of course, the Rutina Wesley has kids in this movie that are
That's not
teenagers.
okay with
And
me.
what
That
was
is
the
not
lead?
okay with me. That is not okay. Rutina, if you're listening, girl,
Yeah.
you're still gorgeous. You look like you're 22, and I need you to always play 22.
When she turned around, I was like, oh, their older sister's taking care of them?
Right.
Like, mom, I was like, who are you talking to? Bite your tongue. But like seeing those three in these roles was probably more jarring than the alien abductions that I did not see coming, because I was still trying to reel from that, and then aliens are beating people up, and I was like, whoa, I can't. My brain is done. I'm at capacity.
No, it was super fun to see some of my favorite actors in a more mature role, which we haven't seen before, and now I feel old. But yeah, because it was super jarring. Another thing that I just thought about that was a really interesting concept, and if we ever do a full episode on this movie, we'll get further into this. But it was really interesting that with Shane West's character, you got to see how the issue in policing and with cops has been passed down from generations after generations. You see his father, who's objectively worse than he is, but it was like he's just continuing the same tendencies. So that was a super interesting theme. I don't want to get too much into it, but like
I will always make time to talk about how the cops began and what they've been doing, because they still have the same purpose, which is why we have so many Facebook videos. Um, Nothing has changed. Yeah. Nothing. And yeah, I will do a whole breakout session on why that should be defunded.
We'll be on Clubhouse. We'll let you know.
Right. I'll be just popping up in the rooms. I won't even like put a title on it. I'll just be like, oh, is this the unicorns and ponies room? Guess what? Defund the police. Right. Good day. But yeah, who was that?
It was just super interesting to see like a current cop and then like his father, who was also a cop, and be like, yeah, we should, who cares if they're right or wrong, just get them. And, yeah.
I mean, racism is inherently handed down as well. So like that scans, especially when you're a family of cops, that's just what you do. Instead of baseball cards, you pass that down.
Ooh, let's stop that. Let's just, no thanks, Dad. I'll not do that.
Right? You don't have what's close to your parents, people.
Or mom,
that's all I
not
say
just
about
dad.
That.
Parent of either or any, whatever.
Yeah, like if your parents or your problematic auntie who chain smokes is saying things to you don't agree with, you're probably on the right side. Know that I probably support you. I would like more specifics, but odds are I'm in your favor.
Right. All right, Trey, yay or nay?
Okay, so I'm leaning towards yay, but again, this was a lot thrown at me, and I only got to watch it one time because we had to record this ASAP. But I'm leaning towards a yay. I think that again, I got in my feels because we didn't get like a lot of Black kids in sci-fi. For us to like do what was gonna be what felt like a thriller and then surprise me with aliens and other things, while also addressing racism and like the police, which are a thing. I felt like I feel like I'm leaning towards yay. I don't want to commit though, because I'm a commitment phobic, as we know. But I think I'm leaning towards yay.
For me, it's a sad nay. I really want to like this movie. I think that it's really trying to do some good things. It's trying to do some cool things, but it's trying to do too many things so that it's not achieving any of them to its fullest extent. And I'm not saying that you have to get rid of the cool theme of like what I mentioned about cops passing down racism and racism in general, or aliens or whatever. Just make sure you're fine tuning them and you're cutting out all of the fat so that in this 80-something minute movie, your audience isn't leaving with more questions than I came in with.
I feel, and you probably agree, I feel this would have been better served as a limited series so we could explore it a little bit more.
Yes.
it felt like a novel being adapted into something quicker than the novel, which is a thing I
Yes.
always feel. And so I wanted it to like have a chance to like breathe and like expand and give us more character stuff, because I think some of that was what was missing. But
Yes.
again, there was so much, but I'm still on the roller coaster of what did I just see? How am I unpacking this?
I agree.
But if it could
Yeah,
be a limited series, anybody listening out there who has a little bit of money,
I agree. No, 100%. Yeah, because I want to know more about the girl that's abducted. I want to know more about Ruchina's character. I want to know who the dad is. Well, what is that relationship? Why is this weird family with the problematic auntie? Why are they a thing? You know, like I want to know. I want more. I want to. Yeah. So that's why it's an A for me. But I do agree. Give me a limited series, please, and thank
you hear that, internet? Let's make it so.
you.
I like how I just signed up a writer to be like, you need to make this a series. I need 10 episodes. Thank you. I can't pay you and I have no pull, but I would like this.
Right.
So yes. Special thanks to our friends at the DDA group for making this review possible. They definitely are amazing and very, very, very giving with the screeners, which is why we're one of the few horror podcasts who are new baby podcasters that get to see some Tribeca films. So
Yes.
thank you for that.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And make sure if you've seen the film, if you were able to attend Tribeca and you agree with us, let us know in the comments. If you disagree with us, let us know in the comments. Yeah, and as always, make sure you stay fierce out there.
Bye.